Hi there, welcome to the 82nd episode of Under the Radar. I am excited to be back today, just for a shorter kind of broadcast today about a band. But before I get into the band, I would like to announce that Dr. Manhattan recently posted that they added a second date because the first date on January 3rd at Beat Kitchen has sold out. So if you are in the Chicagoland area or want to be to witness this performance at the Beat Kitchen in Chicago, I recommend you go and you find some tickets for January 4th. Again, I wish I could go. I've seen that band many times, played with them many times, and it will be worth your while if you are a fan of their music. And even if you are not, or if you're unaware, they just have a ridiculously great live show. So you never know what you're going to get with that band. It's very improvisational and always humorous and at the least very novel. So also, here we go into Christmas and New Year's Eve, and I just want to again reiterate that I have a web store where you can purchase numerous items. So feel free if you want to buy a loved one something or something for yourself. From my past catalog, I have CDs of Midwest Blue, Dorm Life, Goodnight, Dr. Manhattan, Alarm Comp, various artists, Unique Chic, Slave to Servant, Boom Juice, Vaporize, etc. I also have limited vinyl pressings of Slave to Servant, Handsome Young Ladies, and Dorm Life and Dr. Manhattan, the split 7-inch. I have t-shirts, buttons, stickers, posters, very limited quantities of things, all kinds of things in the web store. Feel free to go to samswansonmusic.com/store and purchase something if you'd like. I would very much appreciate that with the season that I'm in right now. So thank you in advance for any more orders that I may get in the future. And I guess without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Today's band that I'm going to be covering is a little bit different for the series because I have not done a lot in regard to metal. I seem to be drawn to more of the punk and indie rock and hip hop and all kinds of other things. And I am not a big metal fan. There are some bands that I like that are metal, but I always veered more into that punk realm as opposed to the metal realm. That does not mean that I don't like metal though. It just means that my metal cred is pretty low. To quote the great Dr. Evil of Austin Powers in reference to Scott Evil not being evil enough, the Diet Coke of evil, I am like the Diet Coke of metal because the bands that I like are System of a Down and Rage Against the Machine and Deftones, and Glassjaw is probably the pinnacle. That Worship and Tribute record is by far. But yes, I am the Diet Coke of metal, so anything that I say in today's episode must have a disclaimer at the beginning because I do not claim to know enough about metal to even really speak about it. I also don't know much about country. It's just never been my thing. I can recognize nuances in these subgenres, but it's not really my cup of tea or expertise. So, that all being said, got that out of the way. This band is, I'm wearing the t-shirt actually. You can't see the graphic, but this band is called Inocula, and they are from the suburbs of Chicago. I think they're kind of from the Wakanda Island Lake area. However, they set up practice at my best friend's house in Wonder Lake because Aaron Kraus of my old band Midwest Blue and the best man in my wedding back in the day, he was their drummer. And I think that the band Inocula, they were formed in 2005 and went through numerous lineup changes with singers and drummers and all that, and finally landed on Aaron, which was a really good choice because I think I've mentioned in the past in some of the Midwest Blue episodes, Aaron and I had a difference of where we were going stylistically in that band before I ended up quitting and going on to Dorm Life. But he was really into Thrice and then got into like bands like Between the Buried and Me and Dillinger Escape Plan, which are all really great bands. Aaron just wanted to push himself, and that's the kind of person Aaron is. Aaron likes to challenge himself, and he always meets his goals when he challenges himself. He's a very hardworking guy, very talented and hardworking man. So that all being said, today's release is Inocula's very first debut full-length album entitled Suntelia Aeon? Yes, I'm saying it as a question because I actually don't know how to pronounce that. But I'm guessing that's somewhere. Hopefully I didn't botch it too much. But Suntelia Aeon, or Ion, I'm not sure. This record was recorded and released in 2008. And the band had, like I said, gone through numerous lineup changes, but settled on Aaron Krause on drums and then AJ Sugg on vocals. Also, something to be noted about this band, the talent was ridiculous as far as the guitar players, the bass players, the drummer, but they also added Tyler Edders on keyboards and samples, which gave, I think, this band a completely different vibe than most of the metal bands that were in our area at the time. So big props to Tyler and his talent and the band for expanding their sound. They recorded this album in Virginia at Karma Productions or Karma Studios with Corey Smoot, who produced it. Now, Corey Smoot at the time was in the band Guar. He played the character Flatus Maximus for a while. Now, I did find out that Corey did pass on, so rest in peace, Corey. But yes, Corey produced this from Guar. And also on the engineering board was Dave Gibby Gibson. Inocula was managed by Chris Green, aka Milkshake, which I have to tell you a funny story about that at the end of this relating to dorm life and stuff. I'll kind of get more into that at the very end. But yes, Chris Green was managing this band and helping them with booking, and I'm pretty sure he helped them get in with Corey Smoot. Also to be noted, the other members of this band, as I mentioned, AJ on vocals, Aaron on drums, Daniel Massey on guitar, Paul on bass, and as I said, Tyler Edders on keys. So this was a 6-piece metal band. Kind of, I believe the style, again, I do not profess to have the expertise on metal and knowledge base on metal to describe this fully, but somebody said it was in the melodic death metal, like in those subgenres of metal in a review. And I don't know if that's accurate, but I'll go with it today. Gotta fake it till you make it. Anyway, I received this album for free with this t-shirt, thanks to my best friend Aaron Krause. So let's go ahead and play some songs off of here. I'd like to start off with the second track on the record, which is one of my favorites. This song is entitled Facing the End.
This operation, you know that will come between us, baby. I was fragmented and vulnerable. Disappear just to save me. All this what brought us here and left us for dead in the valleys of the shadows of the earth. You've left the silhouette that remains to be met. What was meant to be, born with the dawn, just to set with the sun. Drowning is my salvation, but we will return, and to call upon eyes, just to see you without. Realms collapsing with echoing to just a fallen whisper to disappear. Life decides who will flourish and return in time. Death is just a stepping stone for us, baby. I'll see you on the other side. Breathe in my words, when farewell fail, adorn my fading frozen dust. I'll see you at the end of the tunnel. So endure for this long-awaited day. The time has come for one last fleeting breath. And as I abandon the flesh, I will leave it for you.
Immediately so impressed. If you go back into the catalog and you listen to Aaron's drumming in Midwest Blue, it's not bad, but you can kind of hear on the sides material where he was getting a lot more aggressive and really working on his fills and his chops more. And he always had those capabilities, but I think he held back for the songs, and we were playing much more simple, kind of pop punk, emo infused music that was just straightforward. But goodness gracious, the blast beats that Aaron lays down, the double kick, the groove, the polyrhythms, and the swinginess to the song. It has so much variety to it. I think that's a good sample of kind of what this record does a lot, honestly. There's a lot of variety on here. The second song I'd like to get into is a song called Mist.
Looking for its next victim. Inside the cross, such a hideous fate, impossible to imagine. The deceit of betrayal, built around gold. Next in line for the killing.
I believe had Aaron singing some backup vocals there. I may be wrong. I think Aaron did sing on that part though that I played, where it got a little softer. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to another one. I'm only gonna play one more of these 12 songs off the record. I know I could play more and say more, but I'm just gonna leave you with this one. This song is entitled There Was Hope.
This future is forming. It's a cone of hatred, swirling within. About to burst, living in a hollow and cold, man-made mold. Cast from dissolving, disintegrated. Resistance is no resistance. Plastic world of plastic smiles, left to repeat and remain, left to deny their suffering in skin. Misery loves company, mutilate their mind, thus left in silence.
Yeah, There Was Hope is definitely my favorite song on the record. Again, I don't lay claim to being a big metal head, so I would, of course, like the more melodic guitar solos that are going over the softer parts. Just beautiful work. Just a little bit more info on the band before we close out. Again, I said Milkshake. Chris Green was their management and booking for a while. I knew him as Chris Green, but everybody called him Milkshake around the area, and he helped a lot of the metal bands. I had lost track of him, but Chris actually did a lot of engineering on the original Midwest Blue releases that we did with Craig Baker, and also with Dorm Life at the beginning on our first record. He was helping co-engineer that record and mic things up, and I always had a really great acquaintanceship with Chris, but I lost track of him over a number of years of playing music. And it was so funny, everything collided where I went out with Aaron one time in Crystal Lake. I was like, dude, who's this Milkshake guy that I keep hearing about? And he's like, dude, you know him, you know Milkshake. He's like, it's Chris Green. And I was like, Chris Green. I couldn't even remember his name. And then we met him at this bar in Crystal Lake, and I was like, oh my God, Chris, it all connected. I was like, this guy that I thought was, which he was a big deal and still is, especially in the metal scene in that area. But I kind of looked at him as he was a stranger, somebody I didn't know, this myth, right? But it ended up being somebody that I actually was friends with. So anyway, I thought that was funny. I had to mention it. And Chris helped the band get in again with Corey Smoot. And then also the band landed a tour. I know the band toured a little bit on this record. They toured with Green Jelly, of all bands. And I was doing a little bit of research recently on Green Jelly. Obviously, I remember in the early 90s when they had their Three Little Pigs song, and they had to change their name from Green Jello to Green Jelly. But I did not realize that Maynard James Keenan did vocals on that song. In addition to that, Danny Carey was also a member of the band. So shared members of Tool in Green Jelly. I did not know that till yesterday. And then also there was a remix of that song, and it had Pauly Shore and Les Claypool on vocals. Hilarious. Just had to note that for my own entertainment, I guess. One other thing I would say is that there's an interlude on this record that I'm not going to play called 19 that's really pretty. It showcases the keyboards of Tyler Edders a little bit more, completely different vibe. And at one point, I know AJ and Aaron, they all expressed wanting to cover Aurora Borealis by Dorm Life, and I thought it would be cool to do maybe a split 7-inch or something, but I didn't know how Dorm Life would be able to pull off an Inocula song. I do not have those chops on the guitar, so that never came to fruition, but I know that the band really liked Aurora Borealis, and actually at one point, Aaron Krause played a Dorm Life show with me at the EWL house when my friends Carmela's Game came through the area on tour, because Mike had to work or something like that. And so it was like a way more metal version of Dorm Life. And even though Mike had metal chops, Aaron had more of a machine-like, presence, very intense presence on the drums. It was a lot different. So last thing to be said about Inocula, they ended up disbanding and then forming another band with Aaron and Paul of Inocula called Bridges of Königsberg. Kind of an interesting band, a little bit more ambient, a little bit more keyboards involved, with a female keyboardist. So definitely check out Bridges of Königsberg if you are looking for more, if you really like Inocula and didn't know about them. Also, go on Discogs, find yourself a copy of Inocula's debut, I think only full-length record, produced by Corey Smoot of Gwar. And in other news, I'm just gearing up to do some traveling soon. I'm going to finish up some things on the red tape in California with my buddy Gons Shimura of Canary Cry Radio and Canary Cry News Talk. Got some really fun surprises planned for that. I also released snippets, like a 9-song snippet video of the red tape, so there's a lot more little samples of what's going on. However, I didn't give everything away, so you can go on YouTube and check that out. Also on Bandcamp, you can download that in addition to the very first skit, because there are a number of hilarious skits featuring my boys at Canary Cry Radio. Anyway, I won't say any more about it, but 66.6 FM The Beast, check that one out. If on Bandcamp, you can get a free streaming and download of that in addition to the 9-song snippet sampler. Okay, well, again, if you are looking for anything to order for anyone for Christmas or the holidays or just in general and you want to help support me, go to samswansonmusic.com/store and get yourself something. I would really appreciate it. And I'll be back soon with another episode. I just want to say thank you again for your time.